Hi, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, and today we're going to have a lesson on a really simple way to identify deception through what we consider mouth blocking behaviors. Okay, so if you like what you hear, if you've enjoyed my videos in the past, and if you want to stay in touch with future videos, I have a lot coming, please feel free to click the subscribe button and stay in touch. Thank you. Okay, so just before I jump into the lesson, you should know this if you've watched previous videos, but I am just going to clarify for those whom it might be their first time watching a video of mine. Body language and nonverbal communication works on a subconscious level, okay? So if you were to read someone's body, for the most part, they're not going to be aware of the signals and the behaviors they will be giving out, okay? It works on a subconscious basis. Not only that, but people aren't educated on this topic. It's very rare that you find someone who does have an understanding of how body language works and the signals they give off. So what could be a pacifying behavior that links to their childhood and explains a lot might just be a simple itch on the face for them, okay? So they don't understand themselves where these behaviors stem from. It's just a common occurrence for them, whereas you'll be able to assess and look into things with a lot more depth and really understand what's going on in the mind of that individual. All right, so I'm going to get straight onto the lesson. Thanks for hanging on. Okay, so what we're going to take into consideration is the three wise monkeys. If you're not aware of the symbolism of the three wise monkeys, I would recommend you do a little Google search just to check out the imagery so you can understand. So the three wise monkeys are symbolic of hearing no evil, seeing no evil, and speaking no evil. All three of these monkeys are incredibly important to understand on your journey in body language, because each three of these actions, so the covering of the ears, the covering of the eyes, and the covering of the mouth, are subconscious behaviors we as humans participate in when we are deceiving or saying something we shouldn't, or hearing something we don't want to, or seeing something we don't want to. This particular lesson, we're going to be talking about the speaking no evil and how that's represented with the monkey and how it applies to us when we lie and when we say something distasteful and so on and so forth, okay? So if you can picture that in your head, the monkey covering the mouth, that's what you're going to start to see in your day-to-day basis, in your communications with different people, okay, through different means. Okay, so regarding our nonverbal communication and behaviors, we are still the same individual we were when we were a child, alright? So the behaviors we participated in as a child are still with us, but as we grow older and start to shroud ourselves within society a little more so, and learn how to deal with particular social cues and how to lubricate our communications a bit better, we aren't as obvious and transparent as the child we once was. So as a child, if we say something really stupid, as the children around you would do if they said something silly or made something up or so on and so forth, they're very obvious in covering their mouth. Alright, so you can tell a child is lying by the covering of the mouth. It might be so obvious that they take both of their hands and just slap it on their face over their mouth in a shocked expression as a means of keeping them words in, or wow, I didn't mean to let them words out, okay? Now, as adults, we do the exact same thing, but just to a more indirect extent. So I'm going to give you a few examples now. All right, so one of the most common themes when it comes to detecting liars and people initially getting into the concept of body language is identifying a liar via the rubbing of the nose, a touching or scratching of the nose. It's one of the most common reoccurring themes for people who wonder if you can identify a liar purely by that. I have gone through that concept quite thoroughly in a previous video, so please feel free to check that out if you're interested in the psychology and the science behind that. I have sort of given quite a healthy review of that behaviour, but I'm going to take it in a different direction this time. So what you should consider is, when I'm speaking of us as children covering the mouth very blatantly and us as adults learning to not do that so obviously and switching it up and being a little more indirect, subconsciously our hand still creates the same movement towards the mouth with the hand to cover it up and conceal it, because you're not telling the truth and your brain knows that. There's a contradiction between you verbally expressing the yin to the mind's yang. It's completely opposite, and so the body acts in a very honest way to shut down the action the words are representing at that time. So the hand is going to come up, but considering you're an adult and a lot smarter apparently now than the child you were, you're not going to go straight to the mouth to cover it up. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the nose and you're going to touch the nose. All right, and what you're going to do is you touch the nose. The hand at the palm of the mouth is going to somewhat cover the mouth. It's a mouth blocking behaviour, okay? You're blocking up the mouth. What else might you do? You might give it a a little cough, yeah? Why do you need to cough? You might not know yourself, but what you're doing is you're blocking up the mouth because what's coming out of it isn't true, it's deceit, all right? You're lying, and just as the kid who lies and covers up his mouth because he knows he's being caught, you still act in that manner. So you raise the hand, you block the mouth, okay? That's how it works. So as you continue communicating with people, you're going to have to start recognizing these somewhat random and awkward behaviors people may do, alright? So I'm not speaking of an organic cough where someone has a tickle in the throat and needs to cough, or whether someone is parched and genuinely needs a drink of water, alright? You need to identify what seems a little bit bizarre at that time, or if anything in particular triggers this action, alright? It's very important, and when you start to identify these blocking behaviours, everything will make so much sense. You'll be watching the television and you'll see this happening when two people are communicating, and you'll think, wow, that could possibly be a lie, you know? Anyway, other than just being a straight up lie, something to take into consideration is it can also be associated with uncertainty, doubt, or exaggeration, alright? So anything other than the literal fact. So if the individual thinks that they are, you know, exaggerating what they're saying, if not a little uncertain or doubtful, pay attention, alright? But if somebody's stern and assertive and really dialed in what they're saying, their body language should match up with the words they're saying, okay? Their stature should match, alright? But if somebody's saying so boldly, yes, I believe this happened, yet they're finding a way to, you know, somewhat slightly cover their mouth whilst they're saying it, that's very unnatural, and it should be taken into consideration, okay? You should have a think, wait a minute, is this the truth? Is there something going on here? Do you really believe that? Alright? Now, I'm not going to go into it right now, but you will be able to apply this same concept to the ears and to the eyes, alright? So something you'll see just as regular is eye blocking behaviours, covering of the eyes. So I'll run you a quick idea. Let's say someone's just witnessed a car crash, alright, or is about to witness a car crash. What will happen? Their eyes may squint to block out the information they're absorbing, alright? I spoke about attraction in a previous video as to where the eyes open and the pupils dilate to absorb more of what they find attractive, okay? So an eye blocking behaviour is the complete opposite. If you don't want to take in that information, you're going to block the eyes, alright? And that can also link to lying, it can link to having thoughts they don't want to have, and so on and so forth. And then sending that in the third direction, we've got hear no evil, okay? So the covering of the ears, what we call ear blocking behaviours. So if they've heard something unsavoury, or if they're thinking of something uncomfortable, alright? So we're going to go into them in the next few videos. Thank you for watching. I hope it's been of incredible benefit. I hope you're learning how to read minds. And please click subscribe. Signing out. Bye-bye.